Ladies and gentlemen, fans of baseball and defenders of the game's integrity, today we find ourselves facing another unsettling chapter in the sport we love. The Cleveland Guardians and Major League Baseball are now at the center of a brewing storm, as pitcher Luis Ortiz, just 26 years old, finds himself under the microscope of a gambling investigation. This is not the news anyone in Cleveland wanted to hear. Ortiz, who only recently joined the Guardians after a trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates over the winter, was meant to be part of the team's future. A young arm, full of promise, brought in to strengthen the rotation. And yet today, the headlines speak not of his fastball or strikeouts, but of allegations and investigations. The facts as we know them are limited but serious. According to a source familiar with the situation, speaking on condition of anonymity because the investigation remains ongoing, Major League Baseball has launched an official inquiry into gambling activities potentially linked to Ortiz. The timing of the announcement sent shockwaves through the baseball world. Ortiz was scheduled to pitch on Thursday, June 3, against the Chicago Cubs. Instead of taking the mound, he was placed on non-disciplinary paid leave, a status that will keep him away from the team through the All-Star break. The league, for its part, has been careful with its wording. In a public statement, MLB confirmed the investigation but offered few details, citing the sensitive and confidential nature of the process. They were clear, however, that Ortiz's leave is paid and non-disciplinary, at least for now. The Cleveland Guardians, too, have maintained a tight-lipped approach. In their brief statement, they declined to discuss specifics, merely emphasizing their respect for the league's investigative process. The club's focus, they say, remains on supporting that process and ensuring its integrity. But make no mistake, behind the scenes, this story has rocked the clubhouse. Ortiz, in his first season with the Guardians, has not exactly set the league on fire but has shown potential. In 16 starts, he has posted a 4-9 record and a 4.36 ERA. These are numbers that reflect growing pains, to be sure, but also glimpses of the pitcher he could become. Now, all of that is on hold. His future, once seemingly bright, is clouded by uncertainty. Fans across Cleveland and the broader MLB community are left with questions. What are the allegations? Is there evidence of wrongdoing? Could Ortiz face suspension or worse? And perhaps most concerning, is this an isolated incident, or a symptom of something larger brewing beneath the surface of Major League Baseball? The sport has a complicated history with gambling. From the Black Sox scandal of 1919 to the lifetime ban of Pete Rose, gambling controversies have left scars on baseball's soul. MLB has worked tirelessly in recent years to protect its integrity, even as it embraces legalized sports betting partnerships across the country. But those partnerships come with risks. Players, coaches, and officials are strictly prohibited from betting on baseball, and any breach of that rule strikes at the heart of the game's credibility. MLB knows this, and that's why investigations like this are handled with utmost seriousness. Luis Ortiz, at just 26 years old, now finds himself caught in this tangled web. For now, the league's process will unfold behind closed doors. Investigators will gather facts, conduct interviews, and review any evidence at hand. Only when that process is complete will Ortiz's fate become clear. Until then, he remains on paid leave. He will not take the mound. He will not contribute to the Guardians' playoff push. He will not have the chance to change the narrative on the field. For the Guardians organization, the focus shifts to the next man up. Baseball is a team sport, and as painful as this distraction may be, the season marches on. Cleveland will have to adjust its rotation, rally its players, and try to keep its playoff hopes alive without Ortiz. But behind the scenes, concern lingers. What does this mean for the Guardians' culture? For the trust between players and management? For the message being sent to young athletes who dream of reaching the big leagues? Ortiz's teammates have yet to speak publicly about the situation. In the locker room, reactions are likely a mix of shock, disappointment, and uncertainty. This is, after all, a man they shared a dugout with, trained beside, and trusted on the mound. Now, questions swirl about what may have been happening off the field. The investigation itself could take weeks or months. Major League Baseball will take its time, knowing that the integrity of the sport demands nothing less. Any findings, if proven true, could lead to suspension, fines, or even a lifetime ban, depending on the severity of the violations. But right now, all anyone can do is wait. For Luis Ortiz, this is a personal crossroads. Whether guilty or innocent, his career will never be the same. Even the whiff of a gambling investigation can tarnish a player's reputation permanently. For the Guardians, it's a gut punch. They invested in Ortiz's potential, believing he could be part of their pitching future. Now they must reckon with the possibility that he may never pitch for them again. For fans, it's a painful reminder that the game they love is not immune to scandal. This story is far from over. In the coming days, more details will emerge. The league will release findings, statements will be made, and decisions will follow. But for now, the baseball world waits. And as it waits, it reflects on the fragile balance between competition and corruption, between passion and temptation. Luis Ortiz came to Cleveland with a fresh start. Now, just months into his Guardians career, he faces a moment that could define, or derail, his entire life in baseball. In a game built on numbers, averages, and statistics, sometimes it's the off-the-field stories that leave the biggest mark. Ortiz's record this season is 4-9. But no stat can measure the gravity of the moment he faces now. Whether his story ends in redemption or regret is a chapter yet unwritten. For now, his uniform hangs unworn. His glove sits idle. His teammates move forward, while he waits in limbo. And the fans, the heart of this game, are left with nothing but questions.